Welcome back. The Defense Logistics Agency says it'll add more resources to its campaign of learning in 2026. DLA says the goals to, quote, promote a shared understanding of logistics and supply chain issues for the Pentagon. Doug Nobles, Managing Director for Federal Advisory at KPMG. He's former Director of Logistics Operations J3 at DLA. Doug, welcome. It's great to have you on the program. You talked recently about the concept of supply chain visibility. What's the definition of that term in a military context?
Thanks for that question, Francis. Thanks. Good morning, and it's great to be here. Thanks for the invitation. So when we think about supply chain visibility from a military logistics standpoint, it's having that ability to see all the way end to end across your supply chain, all the way to from your supplier, but even better, the supplier's supplier, so all the way down all the sub-tiers and everything, and then all the way forward to that ultimate customer, in this case, in the military case, to that warfighter that needs that requirement. And it's not just the thing that we're delivering them, but it's also all the elements that go into making that capability happen. So it's understanding the demands that are coming your way, so you're prepared for them. It's understanding what inventory you have on the shelf, what is the capacity of your suppliers to make things, what are your transportation and storage options, and being able to take all of those elements of the supply chain and pull them together in an informed way, so that then you can, the logistics planner or the supply chain planner can make intelligent, data-driven decisions about what options they need to exercise, or what plans maybe they need to put in place to make sure that supply chain continues to flow through. And you mentioned in the intro DLA, so I don't think he'll mind if I steal a quote from him, but the DLA director, Lieutenant General Simmerly, when he first arrived, DLA is responsible for, they have a vast swath of requirement that they manage for all the military services, all the consumable items, uniforms, food, medicine, repair parts, fuel, you name it. And so when the director first started the job, he would go around and talk to the workforce and he would ask folks like, what's our most important commodity that we manage? And people would try and think about, is it fuel? Is it uniforms? What's food? And you could kind of see how each one of those is the most important. And it was really, I think, a trick question, because he would say, no, it's data. The most important thing that we manage as an agency is the data of those supply chains. And so I think that kind of gets to that point of supply chain visibility and really the importance of it.
What's driving that? What's making data as a whole more impactful on all the areas of military operations instead of some of the things that you mentioned?
Sure. Well, military logistics is complex. That's not necessarily new. That's always been a very complex problem set. But I think what's new today is the environment that we face. So, in previous conflicts and previous operations, the United States, and still to this day, one of our great capabilities of the United States military is the capacity to generate and project and sustain forces all around the world. And no other nation could do that. But we can see, and our adversaries and potential adversaries can see, the power of that capability, and therefore they want to mitigate that. They want to try and deny us that. And so we can expect that in future operations, those supply chains could be attacked all the way back to from the factory to the foxhole and all along the way. And we can't take for granted that we'll have the ability to operate freely and flow our supplies and our sustainment wherever they need to support our forces. And so when you understand that challenge that that the environment will present, then from a supply chain visibility standpoint, you need your supply chain networks to be agile. You need to be resilient, so you can adjust on the fly. You can make recoveries, or if you get disruptions, you can surge to other capabilities, and that's where the visibility enables that to happen.
Doug, we have less than a minute left. What lessons can the Pentagon learn from the private sector about all of these issues that you've described?
Great question. There is so much fundamental similarities in supply chain management that the private sector has to deal with. So the lessons of contested logistics, if you will, many of those can be equally applied or learned from what we saw in COVID disruptions or supply chain disruptions when there's port closures, or if there's impacts to shipping that are changing transportation delays, and all of those things where we see how commercial industries respond and assess the risk and mitigate it. Those are all lessons that the military can apply and learn in military logistics as well.
Doug, it's great to have you here. Thanks for being on the program
Thanks so much.
today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You can read more about supply chain visibility on today's show page at fedgovtoday.com.